Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you could donate to my ministry and the charities that I support at garethcahoon3@gmail.com on PayPal. Hezbollah drone kills Israeli soldier, wounds 17 others as IDF struggle to cope with growing FPV drone threat. US pushes for direct meeting between Lebanese and Israeli leaders. One Israeli soldier was killed and over a dozen were wounded over the past 24 hours as the Israeli military continues to struggle militarily to defend against the escalating threat from Hezbollah's drone strikes. The dozens of attacks launched by Hezbollah on Thursday, which also included a rocket attack on a northern Israeli town, caused the IDF to reinstate limitations on the home front on Friday, raising the question of how long the ostensible ceasefire in Lebanon can continue. Over the past few days, Hezbollah has increasingly used first person view drones that are controlled via fibre optic cables, to which the IDF has not found an effective solution. On Thursday morning, 19-year-old Sergeant Lem Ben Hamio, who was killed, and three other soldiers were moderately wounded by a dual drone strike in southern Lebanon. Hours later, a strike on an artillery position on the border hit a military vehicle, wounding 12 other soldiers. The attack continued on Friday, with the IDF first stating it had intercepted four out of the five drones, one of which had managed to cross the border and triggered alarm signs in Rosh Hanikra. Shortly after, an interceptor missile was fired towards another suspected Hezbollah drone, targeting IDF troops in southern Lebanon. Finally, two soldiers were lightly wounded in another attack by multiple drones in southern Lebanon on Friday morning. Under heavy pressure from the US to respond only surgically, the IDF has launched several strikes but refrained from hitting targets deeper within Lebanon, particularly those in Hezbollah strongholds in Beirut or the Bekaa Valley, which were targeted in the opening strikes of the current campaign. IDF Northern Command Chief Major General Rafael Melio touted the military's successes in responding to Hezbollah's ceasefire violations, claiming that around 90 terrorists had been eliminated over the ceasefire duration so far, and that the IDF has full freedom of action in his sector. However, the Home Front Command again tightened its guidelines for northern Israel on Friday, in an acknowledgement that the situation is bound to continue or could worsen over the coming days. Educational institutions or workplaces will only be allowed to operate inside a building or in an area where an adequate bomb shelter can be reached in time, and gatherings will be restricted to 200 people outdoors and 600 people indoors in communities along the border, as well as in Meron Bar Yoni or Ha Ganuz and Safusa in the Upper Galilee. This also impacts the annual Lag BaOmer mass pilgrimage on Mount Meron next week, with crowds being limited to 200 at any given time. While the threat posed by FPV drones isn't new, the IDF has not found an adequate response to protect its troops, particularly those operating within Lebanese territory, where they are more exposed to the drones that have limited range. Due to the fibre optic cable connected to these low cost drones, there are barely any electronic or radio signals that can be jammed, and the small size of the drones makes their identification difficult. Given the deteriorating situation on the northern front, Channel 12 News reported that the Israeli government is urging Washington to wrap up the negotiations with Lebanon within 2 or 3 weeks and allow it to resume fighting against Hezbollah if the talks fail to achieve significant results. Meanwhile, the US has intensified efforts to advance the negotiations, with the US Embassy in Lebanon pushing for a direct meeting between President Aoun and Bibi Netanyahu. This gives Lebanon the chance to secure concrete guarantees on full sovereignty, territorial integrity, secure borders, humanitarian and reconstruction support, and the complete restoration of the Lebanese state authority over every inch of its territory, guaranteed by the United States, a statement read. The extended cessation of hostilities achieved at personal request of Donald J. Trump has given Lebanon the space and opportunity to put all its legitimate demands on the table with the full attention of the United States government, it continued. This is Lebanon's moment to decide its own destiny, one which belongs to all its people. The United States is ready to stand with Lebanon as it seizes this opportunity with confidence and wisdom. The time for hesitation is over, the US Embassy added. So, this is just a terrible outcome, and another Israeli soldier loses his life in Lebanon. They're going to have to do something about Hezbollah. May this sergeant's memory be a blessing, and I pray for all of the loved ones that were left behind, who are mourning his loss. May his memory be a blessing. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.